China Day 7, Beijing Day 3. Today we're going to the zoo and the National Museum, hopefully maybe the Temple of Heaven. This is the fit. This is the fit. Well, the shoes are gonna be normal white tennis shoes. But we're seeing the pandas, so we gotta wear black. Is it? These taxi drivers, man, like, let me out where there's an opening, not where I have to walk so far. Anyways, I had to walk so far. You can see, there were gates. I couldn't just go. And the girls over there, they asked for a photo, and I was like, oh my goodness, right when I get out? Okay. So before I could even get my ticket, I got asked by a group of children to take a photo. And while getting my ticket, I was looked at by another group of children, like, so it's official. I am a part of the zoo exhibit. I am the walking foreigner. I don't give a fuck about anything else. You know exactly where we're going. In the bamboo, I can't. Got a bunch of fuck-ass kids. But the giant panda. It was actually a rather long walk to get to the panda, but it was pretty. As many pins as I already have, I really want a panda pin. A panda pin would literally be absolutely perfect. Okay, I thought maybe I'd have to buy a separate ticket, but I showed this to the dude at the panda office and he was like, nah, you're good. I was like, cool. All these poor pandas. And right away, I saw people waiting in this line for the panda, so I was like, perfect, I'll get in line. I waited for 45 minutes. It went nowhere. Apparently, they were letting in 1 or 2 people at a time every hour or every 30 minutes, so total waste of time. Absolutely do not recommend. There she is! And this was just the general public panda area, so at least I got to see something. I was very excited, but it was 1 or 2 pandas max, and that was it. They were just normal size, not very big or whatever. I kind of expected a bit more, gonna be real. Goddamn people, look at the panda, not me. Here was just one more panda, but it was okay, let's go. There were so many people too that it's you couldn't get a great view. Honestly, I think this was the best part of the zoo, all of the different panda flavored, well, obviously not panda flavored, oh my god, no. The panda shaped pastries and foods, panda on toast, panda shaped rice, panda plates, very cute stuff. And the bamboo, oh, I almost got one, but I was like, there ain't no way I'll reuse that and be able to fit it in my suitcase. But note that mug, I did spend the money on the mug. And honestly, all the foods looked pretty good. The way that they decorated it to make it all look like panda themed and stuff was very cute. I ended up getting that waffle and the pudding. I was like, panda pudding, it has a good ring to it, but I don't know about pudding. It was quite nice though how there were English translations, because you really could not tell what a lot of that stuff was. I also got that ice cream, not the ice cream bar, just the straight up ice cream, and it cost me a little bit. Honestly, for China, 35 bucks is a bit, but I got the mug, so. And here we are. I get it because it's super crowded in here, but it's really fucking annoying that people just completely hijacked my table. But I really can't do or say shit, and it's a little girl, so it's whatever, but it's really on the parents. Come on, teach, be better. Anyways, whatever. I guess I learned my lesson that if I sit at a table, I need to put my bag on the chair opposite of me and take up the whole table, because I don't know what's up with this. They literally have a table, the dad or whatever has a table, a big one over there that they're just not using. So, I don't know, they're just hanging out. It's really pissing me off though, but what you gonna do? Anyways, this is the damage report so far. I actually ended up getting really pissed because it was hard to find this table in general. It was so crowded in there, but I spent my fair amount of money. I should have gotten my own little small 2-person table, and they had a whole big table that they just weren't using, and then they moved eventually, but still, ugh. This is how crowded it was though, so incredibly crowded, and you could only enter the panda area whatever once, so before I left I thought I'd have a quick another little look. These are the first other animals that I've actually been able to see, and honestly, it's just really kind of making me sad because they do not look happy. They do not seem like this is where they should be. They very much feel like they're caged animals, and that's not really great. I was trying to find the polar bears, but I literally can't. They're nowhere to be found. Okay, now it looks like we're getting somewhere. This zoo is just so stupidly spread out, you literally can't see shit. Most of it is just walking. And it's really pissing me off. Honestly, I've seen the pandas. I'm probably going to see the polar bear and then go. Well, this is definitely not a suitable fucking environment for a polar bear. The water is very obviously not frozen as it should be, and there's no polar bear. I guess it's good that there's no polar bear since the conditions look awful at this point. But it's just annoying and disappointing that there's actually nothing here. Okay, we are getting some glimpses of the polar bear through that little square right there. See, there but it looks hot as shit. There's no fucking ice. What the hell? This is ridiculous. This is pissing me off. Look how upset it looks. It looks like it's just pissed. Ugh, I can't stand this. I have to go. And it's all outdoors, minimal animals, super far walk to get anywhere. Exit signs not very clear. I was like going off of my maps on my phone. Seeing this elephant here though makes me think of how the whole zoo is probably just one big metaphor for, just like it was in the past with elephants, of how far the empire's reach really goes, you know? Like, oh, look at us, we're so great, we have a zoo, we have all these global animals. Well, then fucking put them in the proper environment. I guess it's like that for like a lot of zoos, most zoos. I haven't been to a zoo in a while, so this is just freaking me the fuck out. This place is pissing me off to no extent. See that exit sign behind me? I guess that means absolute jack shit. I went in there, he was like, no, I don't know where the fuck to go to leave. All I want to do is fucking leave. Oh my god, it's so hot. It's so miserable here. I hate this place. I actually do. As bad as that sounds, like what the fuck? Entrance, that says entrance. How the fuck do you get out? I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. I have lost every ounce of patience that I have. Seeing no animals, and then the animals I did see, seeing them in such awful conditions, and then not being able to fucking get out, I'm pissed. It's super hot, I'm miserable, I don't have a lot of time. I just want to go to the fucking Ming tombs. What the fuck? Oh, I'm so pissed. And the panda, I waited 30 minutes more. I waited like 45 minutes to see this stupid fucking panda, and the lion barely moved. They literally weren't even letting people in. They weren't letting us know what was up. There was no information. Everyone just kind of had to turn around and leave, and just a huge waste of time. Huge waste of time. There were, I think, 2 or 3 pandas that I did see, and they were all like crouched in the corner sleeping, and that's like, good for them, go ahead and sleep. But they weren't big, they weren't giant pandas, and I wanted to see like the red pandas or whatever. They were nowhere to be fucking found. Oh, we finally made it, thank God. People don't know how to fucking walk. Like, go ahead, take up the whole sidewalk. No one else is using it. Oh my God, and all these kids just loose. Oh my gosh, even if the kids aren't loose, the parents are like, they're not holding them tight to them or whatever. They're taking up as much possible space as they can. Oh, I can't. But I got a taxi, so that was cool. But the dude asked me like where I was from. I said America, and he was like, oh, are you Christian? Because he was. And I was like, no. And then he asked me to like talk to his wife because she's an English teacher or something, and it was really awkward.
Hello.
Hi.
So where are you going?
The Ming tombs.
300米处有限速100和应急车道拍照。
Where is it?
The Ming tomb complex.
130
哦。
保持主路行驶，不要下坡。
So you come to Beijing for the traveling?
400米处有应急车道抓拍。
Are you a student studying here?
I'm studying online and I'm traveling.
Oh, studying online.
Mm-hmm.
So how many places or tourist places have you been to?
I went to Wuzhen, Shanghai, and now Beijing.
Okay, and actually as a Chinese, I haven't been to that places. OK， 那个我先跟他聊吧，我手机要没电了。
好的，谢谢。
That was so awkward. Also, I kind of had to explain to him that like Trump was a bad guy and stuff like that, but whatever. And he like almost missed the turn and almost like drove into a ditch, but whatever. I got to where I needed to be, except not really, because he dropped me off in the middle and I wanted to start at the very beginning, so then I had to walk a little bit of a ways to actually get to the start, but here we are. Okay, we're finally here. I literally did every assignment for the research papers I had to do in my summer class about China on the Sacred Way, the Ming tombs, each of the Ming tombs. Oh my gosh. I got dropped off way at the front, but I walked all the way here because I'm determined to start at the beginning of the Sacred Way. Spoiler alert, this was not indeed the beginning of the Sacred Way. Kinda, but not really. There were other like gates that I wanted to see first, but whatever. Real quick, I want to note the pillar there and the pillar, where is it? There? Yeah, there it is. All right, so I'm not a Hundi, but I'm pretty sure that everyone would walk on the sides. The middle was reserved for the spirits, and I think this was the dismounting gate. Everyone, even the emperor, had to get off their horses once they got here.
200块钱，然后呢，开完以后呢，再给你拉回那个下边地铁口，再付块钱，总共200元。
Okay, then I'll take you to visit Changling and Dingling. It's 200 yuan for a round trip to these two mausoleums. After the visit, I'll drive you back to the Shangbaba subway station, and you
Pause to read, but bro asked me what I wanted to see, and I was like, I don't know all of it. And eventually I was like, okay, this is taking too long, and I just started to record as he was like translating and talking. I was like, I'm still gonna see what I wanted to see at this spot and like look around if I'm gonna be, you know, dragged in his car. Not dragged, but like, you know, dragged into this type of thing. Okay, I negotiated the price down to 150, and I guess we're going. Current status, I was bullied into getting a ride because, I don't know, Translate was being weird, but he was making it seem like the tombs are going to close soon kind of thing, and they're like really far away, and I need a ride. And I was like, will you do a little less? And he would, so we're going.
27里，叫千年不倒，千里不坏。你进去看看那个大殿，再看看文物，连完后边的宝顶地宫没有挖开，出来以后呢，必须到4点40出来，咱们下个地方就去定那地宫了啊。
How did Ling Lihua, who was the first to visit the grassland pearl, start living there? Some organization, whatever kilometers away, wouldn't understand that Big Sister had to go to the Ice Palace 5 years after the secret garden was opened in the city. What? What? I know that's not what he was really trying to say. But the views were nice. I got a ride. I definitely would have needed to get a taxi or something anyways. And here we are at the first one, Changling, the big boy. Okay, so based off of his pointing, it looks like he's gonna park. And I'm gonna go get the tickets. We are starting at Changling. Oh, I don't know if I'm saying it right, probably not. Anyways. Okay, so we're here, I guess, technically. I wanted to go look at some of the little shops that were back there, but he was like, go over there. I don't know where the hell he is. I don't know where he went. Anyways, here we go. See, I wanted to start here, and I started here. This is the dismounting steelies, that's where we were. And did we already pass the sacred way? I think we did. Shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. We're at Changling. We're over there. Here we are. Okay, I'm gonna read off of the paper that I wrote for my Chinese Culture and Society class over the summer about this place. The Changling Tomb, or Chang Tomb for short, is the best preserved out of the 13 tombs of the other Ming emperors buried in the necropolis. At this tomb lies the Emperor Yonglei, born in 1360 as the 4th son of the first Ming emperor. Even though he was the oldest living son at the time of his father's death, Yonglei would be overlooked in the line of succession in favor of his deceased elder brother's second son. The older son had passed. So then the new emperor and future emperor Yonglei would then engage in 4 years of civil war until the new emperor, who was the chosen successor and eldest surviving son of the eldest son of the king, mysteriously just could not be found one day. Whether he was quietly taken care of or managed to seek refuge in a secluded or foreign land, his absence allowed for the rise of Emperor Yonglei. So Yonglei would be the third to rule the Ming dynasty, ruling for 22 years and overseeing the creation of the Forbidden City and Beijing as the capital city during his reign. Oh shit, it looks like something's going on. Also, I think there probably definitely would have been a statue here and a statue there, but they're all looking at me. Hair's all messed up now. The construction of the entire tomb complex was ordered and christened by the Yonglei Emperor and would be used by the Ming emperors and other royalty until the dynasty exhausted its resources and came to an end in 1644. I love it when they have these, the front shows what it actually like looks like just wood-wise, and then it'll show you kind of how it was constructed architecturally. Not that I'm into, well, I'm kind of into architecture. I'm really bad at math, so like not actually into architecture. I just find it interesting as any other person, I think, but how cool. The spirit of the Yonglei Emperor. Hello. That's so cute. The tourist shop. Of course we'll take a look.
We'll have a look. Of course we'll have a look.
You got the classic Buddha. They really fucking like magnets here. I don't get it. I mean, I guess, but I pretended like I didn't hear it and I didn't know what she said, but I definitely got a how pat from one of the girls in there. The Changling tomb is the largest tomb in the complex, necessary given the at least 16 concubine sacrifices who were roped into following Emperor Yongle to the grave. Yonglei's first empress had been with him since their early teenage years. The two would have their first child, the Hongxi Emperor, over 20 years before ascending to the throne, and only 5 years into his reign, the empress passed away. So naturally, Emperor Yongle then tried to marry her sister, and naturally, the sister then went bald and fled to the safety of Buddhism to escape this fate. And Yongle did not take on another empress afterwards. Yongle and his empress are entombed underground within an earthen mound tomb that has withstood the weight of 600 years and has yet to be excavated. Goodness. As earthen mound tombs tend to cave in on themselves and collapse after time, it would be obvious by now if the structural integrity of the tomb mound were to give out. So basically everything that I've been walking around and seeing is just things to honor them and whatnot. The actual tomb would have been behind this. Within Changling, one can find a unique stele from an unknown date or origin that depicts a dragon holding the inscription rather than a typical tortoise. And I'm pretty sure that's the first stele that I saw, but I'm really not good at like recognizing animals when it comes to dragons and whatnot, so I wonder what happened to prompt that sign. It is one of only 3 tombs in the complex to have a separate front gate, the middle entrance of which only the deceased emperor and empress could pass through. Looking from above, the Changling tomb resembles the shape of a keyhole. The gates, hall, and ceremonial vessels occupy a rectangular space that leads to the circular burial mound in the back, which has trees freely growing on it for added protection. I just love the multi-layered things, you know, and the dragons with for the rain to come out of. Oh. And I just asked a random worker guy who was passing by to take those photos for me, and they turned out rather good. He didn't take a lot, but I got what I needed. I think I just got this construction worker out of carrying the wheelbarrow. He was carrying it before, then I asked him to get a photo for me, and now his other worker is carrying it. Well, the camera angle could definitely be better, but we are popping out the umbrella. We're popping out the tissues. It's hot as shit. And as I was saying all of that, this is the view. Oh my gosh. How lovely. How amazing. Oh. And that was all for the Changling virtual tour paper that I wrote, as well as my actual tour. So now we're heading to the next tomb. Okay, I see. I wanted to go to all the souvenir shops at the beginning just because I'm antsy, whatever the word is. But here they are at the end for me. How exciting. 谢谢. Okay. 谢谢. 谢谢. Do y'all see how pushy they're being trying to sell me stuff though? Like, I totally get it, but also, if I see something I like, I'll totally buy it. You don't gotta convince me, it's just increasing my anxiety. Stop pointing and saying, look, 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 I'm looking. The communist hat is kind of funny. Okay. Okay. 35? Okay. Okay.
How many? 1, 2. I
found my dude again. I didn't even realize it, but he was right there. I got that thing negotiated down from 60 to 35 just because it was too expensive. I was like, whoa, whoa. It was like $8 and I was like, how about 5? And she was like, okay, okay. Oh, it's so hot. I heard that negotiating was a thing in China, that like you could do that, you could barter or whatever. I was not trying to do that. I'm too scared to do that. It's straight up. 2 instances today, people just wanted way too much money and I was like, I'm not gonna do that. And they were like, tell me your price. And I was like, So it's worked out. And this dude driving me around, I definitely do not think he's a taxi driver or like an official tour guide or anything. I think he's just like a local dude who tries to like get tourists to give him money to give them a ride or something. I don't know, but it's working. Now for the Dingling tomb and Emperor Wanli. And once again, I'll be reading from the paper that I wrote about this tomb. I officially know enough Chinese to where when he was like, I'm gonna go park over there, I was like, how? Okay, it looks like there's a whole group of like other tourists, so that's kind of promising, honestly. Okay, this time I'm not forgetting my student ID. They don't ask you if you're a student, but it's literally half off if you are. Gotta say though, this bug bite is like actually killing me. I have cortisone cream and I knew I needed to bring it and I forgot and I'm pissed. This really pissing me off. All I want are pins, and literally everything is a magnet. Like, there are so many magnets. Okay, this is the dude whose real wife that he was like wed to since he was 13 or some shit. They died like quite around the same time, and he had a concubine who had a son, but she was not the favorite, so she was never made like the legit empress or like given a super high status, but she had a son with him, and of course that son ended up becoming like the next emperor, or like an emperor later, he was the emperor or some shit, and so posthumously her son made his mom, which was this dude's concubine, into an empress. So that is why there are 2 empresses buried here. Crazy. Again, I'm not a Hundi, but from what I remember about the paper that I wrote about this place, that's something, it's something along those lines. All right, so I'm not a Hundi. I never claimed to be a Hundi.
I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed to be a fighter.
But I'm pretty sure that this dude, he had 2 empresses. And here I am just explaining the story again for TikTok. Anyways, here lies the emperor whose obesity grew so out of control it is said he eventually could not get on his own 2 feet without help. He was in his 50s. An emperor who kept his throne longer than any Chinese emperor before him and had since the Han Dynasty, which was like the 200s BC to the 200s CE. Emperor died and was buried in 1620. Though he has the best survival record of the Ming emperors while on the throne, 47 years of supporting the lifestyle of Emperor Wanli just about sent the country into ruin. As oh so tempting as it is to walk up the middle, I dare not. And me saying that there used to be something here is kind of like, yeah, no shit. Similar to other child rulers throughout history, 10-year-old Emperor Wanli had a trusted adult, Grand Secretary Zhang Zhuzheng, I don't know if I said that right, to guide him through leading the country while he dealt with puberty. Due to the extreme competence of the Grand Secretary when he was alive, or perhaps due to the unwillingness and incompetence of Emperor Wanli, the responsibilities of an emperor were not observed closely by Wanli. Rather, the emperor blew the Ming's money on various luxuries, including his own tomb, Dingling. The Beijing belly is real, bro. It really do be out. It looks too well preserved for something that was like completely torn down and shit. Like, it looks like it's supposed to be remnants, but it looks like it was built like this. Like, it doesn't look like it was anything was destroyed here or anything. As wrong as it feels to walk in the middle like this, you gotta do it for the shot. Oh, what nice blue. And here's a kind of old style map of, you know, the whole complex, but it's a good map. Though he took the throne around age 10, Wanli would not order the construction of Dingling until he was about 21, construction which was finished before his 30th birthday. This happens to coincide with the death of the Grand Secretary, who only lived 10 years into the 47-year-long rule reign of Emperor Wanli. Those first 10 years were prosperous for the people of Ming, while the following 37 years were far less progressive. From bad policies to lazy politics, the Wanli Emperor did not fare too well without the Grand Secretary. Dingling would be the test tomb before going to excavate the main tomb of the complex, Changling, which I was just at. The Dingling tomb would be the first of the underground tombs of the Ming tomb complex to be excavated, chosen because of its visibility due to a structural flaw in a wall. Okay, now this literally should be the main attraction. I can't believe it's just tucked into the corner. This is the entire reason why they could find the tomb, the only tomb that's like actually genuinely excavated from the Ming tomb complex. This is the reason why they could find it, because of the inscription on this tomb, and it's just tucked away in the back corner here. That's crazy. So yeah, Dingling is the only tomb in the Ming tomb complex to actually be excavated. Though many other underground tombs exist, they have yet to be disturbed for historical examination. Okay, it said that this is the way to the underground palace. I wonder if we'll actually be able to get there. There's no other people around, so that's not very promising. Okay, here we are. I don't know how much farther we have to go, but we've been walking for a really long time down these stairs. I hope we don't have to walk back up the stairs. We did indeed have to walk back up the stairs. I think it was here where this door was like a trap door. It was locked and they managed to figure out how to open it and get in. I said that and changed my mind about it like 5 different times. I actually have no idea where it was. And this is where he laid for hundreds of years until they came and they broke open the tomb. The lack of other tomb excavations is partly due to fears of divine retribution, but mainly due to the fear of losing historical relics due to inadequate conservation systems. Dingling had many well-preserved artifacts, that is, up until the archaeologists opened the tomb and exposed these artifacts to fresh oxygen for the first time in hundreds of years. Wow, it is really cold in here. But here's the coffins, or like I think the replicas of the coffins. So these were all offerings, and then there's the coffins. I don't think they were in too great of shape, actually, when they found them. But now I think we're actually at the real entrance where the doors were, like, trapped, and they had to try to get them open, and they did. Here it is. This is where the doors were. Oh my gosh. It's huge. That's what she said. Sorry. And the arrangement of these thrones isn't quite how it would have been. It would have been like the emperor's throne and then empress on each side, like looking at each other. Kind of awkward, but whatever. It's also kind of rude how they just say the empress. They don't say like which one, because one of them was definitely the rightful empress and she was like 13, and one was a concubine who was only made empress after she died, but whatever. This is interesting. This is a preserved piece of the actual wall. And there are all these stairs, but I wonder like what it would have actually been like to come up and down to this place before these were installed. This would have been the part that was buried and that they were actually able to undig, I think, and get to. I think this is a spot where like bandits used to hide before they knew like what it actually was, until they found the stone tablet telling them where to go. On the ground level of Dingling, a gate, hall, and structure around a blank stele all used to stand. However, due to peasant uprisings and forgotten renovation projects, these structures are no longer with us. I also want to note that neither of his empresses were his favorites, and the one who was the concubine was similar in age also, just 2 years younger than the emperor, and she died and was buried 9 years before Wanli. Also, I totally ran out of room on my SD card, but I stood here and just looked at this specific site for so long. It was just perfect. I was like, wow, I chose my major correctly. Okay, well, I'm very glad that I got in the car with this guy because I got to see Changling and Dingling. I didn't get to see the Sacred Way, but if I did see the Sacred Way, that probably would have been the only thing I'd be able to see, so I'm satisfied. Okay, so we just stopped at a gas station and I did the whole Alipay thing there because directly it wouldn't let me do the Alipay, and even in the gas station I had to like verify my thing like twice. It was really like, uh-oh, is it gonna work or not? But it did, so we're good. Where the fuck am I? Where is we going? Okay, pretty successful, honestly. It could have gone a lot worse. I do know that it could have gone a lot worse. And we're at the train station. Yeah, he dropped me off at the train station, which was good. It took me a solid like hour or two though to get back. Honestly, I don't remember, and I was not feeling myself too much in terms of hair, so I put on the hat and I tried to avoid eye contact with everyone. Okay, we got back to the room about an hour ago. I talked to my mom for a bit, and now I'm gonna go back out to meet Mr. Dude again and get some food.
Trying to make fun of my English.
Adrenaline is a understandable word to not know. But this was so cool to actually be able to get hot pot like this. I could not have done this alone. When he was looking at places to go, I was like, hey, doesn't that sign say 24-hour hot pot? Because a lot of places were closed. And he was like, oh my gosh, you're right. So we just went up there, and the workers were kind of giggling because of how like amazed I was with everything. And then at one point we went to go get like side dishes or to like fill up the soup cups or whatever. I don't know. And he was like, okay, come on, let's go. And I was like, I grabbed my bag, and he was like, no, we're just going like over there real quick. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I don't know what's going on. You have to tell me what to do explicitly, like, but it was good. It was so good. It was so fun. Isn't she so cute? Isn't she so cute? I get that it's touristy and gimmicky, whatever, but it's so cute, and it came with a little spoon, and it came with this to put it on. My mom loves mugs. She loves like specialty or like fun whatever stuff, you know? So this is like absolutely perfect. And then I bought this. I just thought it was funny. I thought that this was so funny. She wanted $60 for this, which would have been like $8. And I was like, what about 35, which is like $5? And she was like, okay. Cause I was like, no, too expensive. And she was like, name your price. And I was like, apparently this is only worth like 10, but whatever. I got it down like half price, so I'm pretty happy. We also got some fruit. I thought it was like honeydew, but I think it's maybe apples. We got some milk, and we got some snacks. And as for photos, this is the one that I took, the vision that I had, and these are the photos that the random person I asked got of me. Not quite exactly it, but still quite good. I'm very happy with them, honestly. Same with the construction dude who took my photos. Like, those are some of my favorite photos of me and from my trip. I got so many good photos in China, but anyways,